So the last week has been one where there's been loads of small things that have like taught me big things, like without sounding cliche. Some of the smallest things have taught me the biggest things ever. But seriously, it's been a week where I have been reminded that asking for help can actually bring some unexpected magic. Just never know, you never know. It's also reminded me that poor timing is a teacher. It's still a teacher. I need to work on that because, yeah, I have spent some time re-experiencing things and realised that when you re-experience things in a different way, it just changes you. So I've been really enjoying re-experiencing bits and pieces. Sorry, it's actually freezing. I want to say it's been a week of like decisions, discovery, and lots of mini bits of delight. And I love that for me because it's not always been expected delights. Unexpected ones have been great. So I'm Ramat Tejani. This is the Weekly Unfold where I share the asks, the failures, the lessons, and the gratitude that really shape how I'm growing through life. Growing through this particular life. Growing through this life. 1 week at a time. Let's get into it. So the ask this week was actually a simple one. I asked someone to take a picture. Now, usually I am the photographer when we go to an event, when we do bits, all the rest of it is, Ramat, you take the pictures, Ramat, take the pictures. I know the angles, I know the lighting, all of it. So I went to take a selfie and the guy behind me was like, do you want me to just take the picture for you? And I was like, okay, do you know what? Fine. Thank you. Yes, please take the picture. However, his missus was saying to him, oh, you need to press this or do that and do this. And so I said, do you mind if you actually take the pictures? So I asked her to take the pictures because clearly she had the skills. She was talking about portrait mode, she was talking about lighting, and the results were delightful. So yeah, I think there's something about knowing when to ask someone to stop because maybe they're not doing such a good job, and asking someone who clearly has the skills to step in and do a fantastic job. It's all right, man, we're all learning, right? She knew the assignment. Sometimes it's not about just asking for help. In this instant, it was asking the right person with the right range for help. She stepped in and did her thing. Thanks, babes. She'll probably never see this. Listen, I did the thing, I'm so close to the venue, I'm just going to leave in like 15 minutes thing. And London said, bet, let me show you traffic. I was like, what the fudge cake? Yeah, traffic humbled me very quickly this week. It actually did it twice on two different occasions. But I just made that assumption, like I'm so close, it'll be fine. I can get there in like 15 minutes. No, you can't. So call it a failure or just call it a reminder that proximity doesn't actually mean punctuality. Like, leave enough time because you never know what's going to happen. I clearly failed. You're reminded that you are allowed to handle situations the way you need to. You cannot control how others choose to deal with a situation. You cannot control what they might need to do in the situation. What you can do is act from your lived experiences, from situations past that you recognize, and do what you need to do. Your context. Someone else doing it differently doesn't invalidate your choice. And I had that reminder this week, and I had to stand 10 toes down on my decision to take particular actions or not to take particular actions because of my experience. And it is what it is. So yeah, others may not have liked it, but I'm not here to do things that others like at the expense of me. So yeah. Experiencing things differently can really change you in new ways. I've always loved Adele. Love her music. I think she's a fantastic artist, and I can probably sing most of her songs or attempt to sing. I'm not a singer, but you know. Um, and I went to a candlelight concert, which was with a string quartet, and so they were playing different Adele songs, but with strings only. And it just hit different. And I've been to one of these concerts before. I think we went to the Daft Punk one, which a few years ago, and it was great. But this one was, I don't know, there was something about it, and it just reminded me that whenever you re-experience something, whether you read a book again or you listen to a song again or whatever it is, you're doing so as a newer version of yourself, because things have happened, life has happened, you've changed, and so the experience is slightly different. Does that make sense? You're doing it with new ears and like new emotions, and I don't know if your brain is also rewiring as well, but yeah, there's something beautiful about recognizing that when you re-experience something, you do it as a newer version of yourself. Yeah, take what you want from that. Catch ups with people, both expected and unexpected. I had a trustee meeting. It wasn't even a meeting, it was just like a lunch. And it was for the charity that I sit on the trustees for, called Believe, and it's amazing. I love the work that they're doing there, and we spoke a little bit about the work that they're going to be doing next year. Really exciting things to come, so watch that space. And so that was cool to kind of catch up with some of the other trustees. I also randomly caught up with some of the team that do events at work. I actually sit in a different office, and I had gone to this office to avoid like seeing loads of people, and ended up seeing a lot of them. And we kind of had like a little breakfast catch up, and it was so nice to see them. I hadn't seen them in quite a while, so just catching up on what they're doing, what some of them are hoping to do in the future. I was telling them about this YouTube channel, hopefully watching team. But no, it wasn't planned, but it was really nice. I really enjoyed catching up with them. So, yeah, super grateful for catch ups that were expected and unexpected this past week. Spotify Wrapped came out, and I really enjoy looking back at what my year has been like in terms of like audio. I My music told a story. It actually really told a story. I did a lot of listening to Cleo Soul, in particular the song that tells me that I'm loved. And I realized on reflecting that I needed to remind myself of that a lot this year. Not because I am lacking anyone telling me, but there have been several moments this year where I've forgotten. I've forgotten that I am loved. So that was it was a great reminder. My top song, and it has been every year for a while now, Sounds of Blackness, Optimistic. Clearly needed that as well this year a lot. What was also interesting to me was podcasts. I I've chosen to kind of really get curious about how things work and why things work and the way they do. And so it wasn't surprising to me that my podcasts, the top three, one was Economics of Everyday Things. Check it out, really cool. Another was My Leak, also fantastic. I would say that she's my coach, but also she's fantastic in life. And then third was How I Built This. Now, when I think about those three, it makes sense. There's an element of like curiosity, from the first and third one is in particular, a little bit from my leak as well, but my leaks one, I think there's just that sense of like reflection more so for me, and that reminder that she holds a mirror up for me that I sometimes forget to look into. But yeah, I think there's something about stripping back to foundations that I've been doing more of when it comes to what I'm listening to and how I'm listening to things. So that foundational knowledge of like how things are actually created, like the economics of certain things in the world, and how businesses and entrepreneurs have actually built their businesses, like really stripping it back, has evidently been something that I've really dug deep into this year. So, yeah, I'm really grateful for Spotify Rap this year. It's really got me thinking a lot more than I usually think about things. I'm feeling super thankful and grateful for various members of my tribe just being there to allow me or to tell me the truth and to tell me the truth from their perspective, right? Whether it's thoughts on a new hairstyle, whether it's validation on how I might be thinking about something, whether it's just a blessing, or whether it's don't quite agree, but do what you've got to do for you. I am just feeling quite thankful for like honest opinions at the moment. Not everyone will give you that for whatever reason, and I have had a lot of that this year. So, or this past week, maybe this year too, but this past week in particular, there's a few moments that I'm like, oh, thanks. We're heading into week 50 or 52. Oh my god, the end is so close. It's interesting because, like, obviously, the new year is everyone's like, oh, start of the new year. But it's actually my actual new year because my birthday is December 31st. So I'm literally like, okay, cool, this is actually a new year for me. Although I've also chosen another date in the year, which is actually my real new year for me. Yeah, don't ask. But I think there's something that whilst everyone, a lot of people at the moment on various feeds that I have or various like groups, a lot of people are prepping for 2026 and like, let's do this now so that you can enter 2026 feeling this. And I get it, and I think it's great to do that. I feel like this next week though, I'm going to spend a lot of time just doing a bit of reflection of like the moments that have brought me joy in the last few quarters, Q3 and Q4 in particular, the people that have held me, the experiences that have changed me, kind of just all the things, because it's so easy to forget some of the great things and the good things when you're worrying about all the, not the bad, but some of the things that maybe didn't go to plan or some of the quote unquote negative things. So yeah, I'm like, life is full of the ups and downs, and so many of our thoughts are on the downs, or on the negative. That's just how our brains are wired. Our brains try to protect you. They try to keep you safe. They, get it. But I actually really want to spend some time thinking about the things that have really poured into me over the last quarter in particular. So I think that's what I'm going to do a bit of this next week. Let's see how that goes. So yeah, that's that really. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you're new here, welcome. And as always, stay out of trouble unless it's good trouble, in which case, go wild. Until next time.